Hey everyone, welcome to week 8 of BinaryTree's comprehensive curriculum, our final week together. We've saved one of the most important topics for last: artificial intelligence. AI is already woven into your day to day life, from the apps you use to the cars on the road, and it's only going to grow. So today we're going to demystify it. We'll cover the two main types of AI you'll encounter. We'll see how AI actually learns from data, and we'll finish with generative AI, the tools you can start using yourself right now to work smarter. Let's get into it. Let's start by splitting AI into two big families you'll hear about constantly. The first is agentic AI. That's AI that takes the actions in the world on your behalf. Think of customer service chatbots, virtual assistants, smart glasses that understand the scene in front of you, or software that manages a workflow and completes tasks for you. Agentic AI perceives, decides, and then acts. The second family is generative AI. That's AI that creates brand new content from a prompt you give it. This is the category behind tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT, Anthropic's Claude, and other assistants on the market. Generative AI can produce texts, images, code, audio, and more, all from a simple description. Today we'll touch on both, but we'll spend most of our time on generative AI because that's the one you can pick up and use immediately. Here's the single most important idea in this entire lesson. Every AI system, from the simplest to the most advanced, runs on one thing: data. Let's build up the complexity. At the simplest level, you have regressions, basic machine learning algorithms that find a relationship between variables, like predicting a house's price from its square footage. Nothing magical, just math finding a pattern. Step up from there, you get neural networks, systems of interconnected nodes loosely inspired by the human brain, where each layer picks out more complex patterns than the last. Add many of these layers together and you get deep learning, which is powerful enough to recognize images, speech, and language. But notice the thread running through all of it. Every single one of these depends on large amounts of high quality data to work. No data, no AI. So, what is data? If data is everything, let's be clear about what it actually is. Data is simply structured or unstructured information that a machine can record, and it comes in far more forms than people realize. It's numbers and statistics, sure, but it's also text and documents, images and video, audio and speech. It's also things you might not think of data at all. User behavior, like which links you click and how long you stay on a page, and sensor readings from the physical world, like temperature or motion from Internet of Things devices. Every one of these becomes fuel for an AI system. So when you remember that a model was trained on data, remember it could be learning from any of these sources or all of them at once. Now, here's the catch that always surprises people: real world data is messy. It shows up full of problems, and the entire field and dedicated to handling that mess is called data science. Let's look at the four big problems. First, garbage values: corrupted or nonsensical data points that sneak into a dataset. Second, incorrect labels: examples that are misclassified, which literally teach the model the wrong things. Third, varying formats: when your images, audio, text, and numbers all come in differently and have to be standardized before a model can use them. And fourth, missing data: incomplete records that you have to carefully fill in or remove. Here's the phrase to remember: garbage in, garbage out. If you feed a model messy data, you get a messy model, no matter how advanced the algorithm is. That's why so much of real AI work, some say the majority of it actually, isn't the fancy algorithm at all. It's the unglamorous job of cleaning and preparing the data first. So if data science ever interests you, know that it's one of the most valuable skills in the entire field. We've covered the theory: data in, patterns out. Now let's see deep learning in action with an example everyone knows. Self-driving cars are a perfect showcase because they reveal both what AI can do and where it still struggles. On the can-do side, today's self-driving AI can recognize and classify other vehicles, detect and avoid pedestrians on crosswalks, read traffic signs and signals, automatically adjust its speed and following distance, and even handle complex highway merges. That's genuinely impressive, and it's all deep learning trained on an enormous amount of driving data. But now look at the cannot yet side, because it's just as instructive. The AI struggles to reliably recognize a hitchhiker on the roadside, to interpret a hand signal from a cyclist, to handle truly unusual edge case scenarios, to predict fully unpredictable human behavior, and the hardest one, to make ethical decisions in an unavoidable accident. The pattern here is important. AI is excellent at situations it has seen many times in its data, and weak at the rare, the ambiguous, and the human. Keep that in mind for every AI system you meet. Alright, now for the part you can take home and use today. Let's talk about generative AI. Let's pull back the curtain on how a tool like ChatGPT or Claude actually works, because it's less mysterious than it seems. These models are trained on massive datasets of text, from the internet, from books, from code. During a phase called pre-training, the model does once a deceptively simple thing over and over. It learns to predict the next token, which is basically the next word or piece, given everything that came before it. Behind that, a tool called a tokenizer breaks all text into those smaller units. And there's a link on the slide where you can actually try one yourself and watch your sentence get chopped into tokens. By seeing billions of examples and predicting the next token again and again, the model gradually absorbs patterns, facts, and even reasoning. There's also a visualization linked on the slide that lets you see the internals of a language model in motion, predicting the next word at an unimaginable scale. That's the engine underneath it all. Here's the empowering part. Anyone can be a prompt engineer, and a skilled one can create almost anything with these tools. Prompt engineering is just the craft of asking an AI well. Let's cover 4 techniques. First, be specific. Vague prompts get vague answers, so include the details, the format, the tone, and the length you want. Second, chain your prompts. Break a complex task into steps and build on each response instead of asking for everything at once. Third, use few shot examples. Before you ask the model to do something, show it a couple examples of exactly what you want, and its output improves dramatically. And fourth, include context. The more relevant background you give it, the better the result. Notice that none of this requires coding. It's really about communicating clearly, which means the better you get at explaining what you want, the more powerful these tools become in your hands. So let's make it concrete. What can you actually do with generative AI? A lot, especially for the professional and entrepreneurial goals we've built towards all course long. You can write strong social media posts and marketing copies. You can brainstorm ideas for growing a business or a side project. You can speed up analyzing, summarizing, and synthesizing long documents. You can learn almost any new school through interactive AI tutoring, treating it like a patient teacher available at any time. You can write, debug, and explain code in any language, which builds right into our Python weeks. And you can draft professional emails, cover letters, and proposals. Remember week 1. These tools amplify everything you've learned in this course. They don't replace your skills, they multiply them. And that brings us to the end, not just of week 8, but of the entire program. Take a second to appreciate how far you've come over this period of time. From resumes and emails to social media and safety, to Google Workspace, automation, web development, 2 full weeks of Python, and now utilizing artificial intelligence. That is a serious real world toolkit, and you built it week by week. I want to leave you with a special thanks to some of the resources that inspire this material. Andrew Ng's Deep Learning.ai coursework, the 3 Blue 1 Brown machine learning video series, both of which are fantastic if you want to go any deeper. Thank you all so much for showing up and doing the work. Now go build something with us. This has been Binary Tree Comprehensive Learning Curriculum and SCI. Take care.